welcome back to Got No Control Podcast. I'm your host, RONEK. And before I introduce my special guest today, I want to invite you guys to head over to gotnocontrol.com. Check out our official merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies, and so much more. Gotnocontrol.com. I also want to give a shout out to our sponsor, 360 Spray Paint. 360 Spray Paint is a spray paint company that is manufactured and distributed out of Mexico and aim to offer high quality spray paint to all spray paint enthusiasts. And with that being said, I want to give a warm welcome to my guest today, DREWPS. How you doing today, brother?
What's good? What's good, bro? I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Another day in paradise.
That's right. Can't complain, right?
Yeah, man. I just want to start by, giving you a thank you for stopping by. I know you got a lot of stuff going on, but, we made the time to make this episode happen. I'm excited for this. And let's jump into this, brother.
All right. What's good?
I want to start by asking, where is DREWPS from and what is home to DREWPS?
I'm from the Los Angeles area, specifically Highland Park, California. So, growing up, Highland Park has always been home for me.
Highland Park's in the house. Woo, woo.
Yeah, you already know. Northeast LA. Yeah.
Growing up in Highland Park for you, right? For a young DREWPS.
Yeah.
How was it at home? Do you come from like a really big family, or is it like very minimal when it comes to siblings?
I grew up more with my mom. So it was
Okay.
like my mom and my grandma.
Yeah.
Like, we had a small house in the hood, but I got brothers and sisters, and then I have a lot of step brothers and sisters too.
Okay.
So it's kind of a big family. Like out of everybody, I'm the oldest. So yeah, it's just a little different, But overall, it's cool, man. It was a good growing up. Mom's was always there, and my grandma always made sure that we were straight.
For anybody that would watch this, that's kind of like Highland Park. Where is that? Somebody that doesn't know LA. What's something you feel the world should know about Highland Park,
Like words to know about.
or anything in general?
I mean, we're right there, 5-10 minutes away from the Dodger Stadium and the Rose Bowl. So like we're right
Okay.
in between both. You know what I mean? And I love my area, man.
Yeah.
So growing up there was cool for me. Now it's a lot more like gentrified.
Okay.
But like my mom barely sold the house maybe like 3 years ago.
Okay.
She sold it like right before I got out of jail. So yeah. But I've lived there most of my life.
For anybody that would watch this episode and kind of be like, "What is RONEK doing here, sitting down with DREWPS?"
Yeah.
Because we're just in a whole different airspace when it comes to our creative process. But by meeting you, brother, it was very impactful for me to learn your story, right?
Yeah.
Coming from Highland Park, just being a kid, then entering this realm of graffiti that to this day you still have some passion for.
No, for sure. That's a fact.
And coming from that to now, as I want to say elevating, but I would want to say like entering another world
Yeah.
that's no longer, that kind of drifted you away from graffiti. I feel like it's a very impactful story, right? I feel like your journey is important because there's many like you out there
Yeah, for sure.
that could possibly relate to this conversation. So I wanted to dive into how did becoming a creative guy start for you, as far as like maybe I want to do a hit up, or maybe I want to draw something, or maybe even want to be anything creative in general.
I guess for me it started with, I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s. You know what I mean? I was born in the late 70s, I'm 47 years old.
Yeah.
So it was a different time, like when I was growing up, there was a lot of tagging, writing on the walls. There was a lot of that stuff like going on in my area.
Yeah.
There was a lot of tagging crews, and that was a lot of stuff that I looked up to. I looked like those were people I could relate to, type shit.
Okay.
So like for me, I always seen like everybody writing all over the wall, and I mean to this day I keep I got I
Gotta
got
stay
my
ready.
shit.
Yeah.
Got my shit to this day, but I guess that it just came from there, from tagging, that's what got me like into this like where I'm at now, you know?
Gotcha. It's That's definitely something that could be very eye catching, right? When you're just like a young child growing up in your surrounding, and then you start seeing this, like, what is this? What are these guys doing? And then just picking up your utensil and wanting to do it, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to get into, Highland Park for Chicano culture. There's a lot of cultura down there.
Yeah, for sure.
And, cultura has been a big part of Los Angeles as far as like the Chicano art. You have Chicano muralists, like, if I'm not mistaken, I think they used to go by, still do, Los Angeles street scrapers, something like that.
Uh-huh.
So was that ever something that was meaningful to you, like like watching those Chicano murals in your surroundings?
Back in the day, like they had a dude that used to go around our hood, and he used to do like the old school murals all over.
Yeah.
There was a guy by the name of Painter Pete.
Okay.
He used to go all through like the East LA area, and he used to pick us up, like a bunch of kids from the area,
Yeah.
Like I've went with like now, like it's the homies from Rockwood,
Yeah. Yeah.
from Avenues, from different gangs in my area.
Yeah.
Like we all went together as kids, and actually like did murals in front of like the Highland Park swap meet, in front of what is that, Nightingale. Like
Okay.
we've done different murals like all through like Sereno, like all through the hood, and if you go look now, I mean, it has my real name because
Yeah.
that's how everybody addressed you, growing up, they
Like, hey,
address you by your
Jose.
name.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jose, come over here.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Francisco, come over here.
Like that,
Yeah.
So yeah, it was cool, but that's kind of the stuff that kept me with like the graffiti stuff, and just seeing like a big mural or something on the wall that you did
Yeah.
was like, oh, like, yeah,
Like I did the eyeball, but I did something.
yeah, that's my eyeball right there. Yeah.
Yeah, like, hey, did you guys see the eyeball?
That was on me. Yeah.
You know, it's crazy though. Taking part in these murals, right? With this neighborhood friend that you mentioned.
Yeah.
That's kind of like your early beginnings, and like, damn, I could really do this, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, doing that, at what point does it come from like being a spectator to like, wow, now I really want to be part of this?
Man, I think it was maybe the mid 80s,
Okay.
somewhere around there. Like there was already like established like tagging crews in Highland Park. Like
Yeah,
people knew who they were, like growing up for me, like when I got into junior high.
yeah,
Well, because elementary, they were still taggers, but like we're looking at the dudes in junior high,
yeah, yeah.
But like some of the like bigger tagging crews at the time were like in our neighborhood
Okay.
was like KNS. They had like RIA. They had the guys from TAC. They had us BSKs, but those were like the people like all around us,
Yeah.
there was more, but those were like the prominent ones like in the hood, so for us we try to make up our own shit.
Okay.
We seen somebody
Yeah.
else doing their thing, and we try to like make up our own shit. And at the time it was just you and your friends, and it ain't really no style to it, we're
Gotcha.
just writing just to be like, oh look,
Trying to figure it out.
yeah, we're there too,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was a crazy little like transition because there was always gangs around there.
Yeah.
So like we're shying away from the gangs to do something else. But as time went on, it led to something else too,
Before we dive a little bit more into that aspect, right? I
Yeah.
wanted to dive into the gangs, right?
Yeah.
How impactful was that? Like, you're trying to be with your buddies, you're trying to figure out this graffiti thing, but then at the end of the day, you got these guys like, hey, homie, we ain't down with that.
Yeah.
Like, you're either down with us, or you gotta, kick rocks. How was that maneuvering that?
I mean, I think it started like gradually
Yeah,
because like I guess for most of the taggers, they always looked up to all the guys in the hood,
yeah,
like the gang member dudes. And so while riding, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people that do go out mobbing,
yeah,
tagging, um, they they all deal with the same shit. Like, you're gonna deal with riding in somebody's hood, these dudes getting mad and just figuring it out from there. So like for us, we were trying to do our thing and like stay out of like the gang stuff. But like I grew up with my mom and my dad, my
yeah.
stepdads, all from gangs. So
Oh,
so it was like
there was no
still
getting,
there.
there was no
Yeah.
getting away from it.
Nah. I mean, my brother, like didn't like get in the gang,
Yeah,
so I think you can get away from it if that's your choice.
hmm,
But for me, I always looked up to it and like okay, I'm going that way type shit, you know?
Would you say that, at that time, a period of time, the gang culture was a little bit more heavy influence than it is today? Like, do you feel like it's a little bit more lenient today, where like if they catch somebody riding today, it's kind of like, all right, get out of here. But back then, it's kind of more like a little bit more serious.
Um, I think like back in those days, um, like we didn't really understand the tagging aspect of it.
Yeah,
We just seen somebody else riding in your hood, and they're like, "Hell, nah, this ain't happening."
yeah,
But I think as time went on, like in the early '90s, like everybody knows it was like turned into like tag banging,
yeah,
and I was a part of all of that too, being from BSK. So we went from just being regular taggers to like the gangs telling us like stop riding in the hood type shit.
yeah,
So we dealt with that. And at first like we were trying to be cool because we didn't, like I said, we didn't get into the tagging to like have problem with gangs or be out there on that kind of bullshit.
yeah,
We enjoyed chilling with the homies and being on that like tagger aspect. So for a while, a lot of people know that, we went from riding BSK because they told us like, hey, you fools better stop riding all over the hood.
yeah.
So we tried to change it up. We started putting like the numbers from the phone, the 275,
Yeah, yeah,
So we started putting the 275 and they realized what was going on and it just turned into like, nah, that's still you guys riding in
yeah,
the hood, and then it just turned into like, well, fuck it, like it's BSK and like on some gang shit, even though it wasn't a gang,
yeah.
but we were just like, we were all still young, like I was the youngest of my homies growing up, you know what
Okay.
I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So for us, it was like, fuck it, like, what are we gonna do? Like, had a meeting and we were just like, we're moving forward, still BSK.
Do you feel like the tag banging aspect of graffiti started for you just because you just really wanted to be part of this with your friends, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I'm not gonna stop doing what I'm doing just because these guys told me to type thing?
I don't think it was really the stop what I'm doing. I think it's like with anybody, whenever you feel like somebody's like trying to bully you or
Yeah.
trying to be like do too much, and at some point you either gonna stop or you're gonna get fed up and go harder.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So for us, we just figured like still not truly understanding it. Like, okay, well, we'll just like change our tagger names to gang names then
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like, we'll just make this a trece type shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's where like all the like tag banging shit like came in, at least for us.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because we didn't get along with like a lot of the big tagging crews at the time. We didn't get along with OFA, TAC. They had BAK. They had a bunch of different people around us that were doing their thing, but it was kind of crazy because we all kind of transitioned at the same time. Like, fuck it then. Like,
We're all in.
Yeah. But even our enemies, So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you seen the transition going from, like, just like a simple beat down or, fighting or whatever, to now a stabbing or getting shot at, So
Yeah.
it just went, like, quick. And then I guess like at that point it's like, well, shit, we're already being like gang members. Like, what's the
What's
difference?
what's holding us back from
Yeah.
going the full way?
Yeah,
For someone that would watch this, right, that won't understand the difference between, the tag banging and graffiti, because some might be like, well, I'm all about the art, right?
yeah,
I'm not with that stuff.
yeah.
What can you say to that person so they could kind of get a better understanding of why this stuff goes on as far as tag banging?
I think for like us and me, it was it had to do a lot with the art. Like, I mean, we like to see ourselves up,
Yeah.
like who doesn't want to pass by on the freeway and see a big old
Their name, yeah.
name
Yeah.
right over the whole wall, or in the street, like you cruising Hollywood and your name's everywhere, or you go to downtown and the highest spot nobody else can get,
But I got it.
yeah, you get the buses, hit
Yeah.
the destinations, hit all the the front windshield, like riding the back of the grill of the bus. Just it was just us clowning and having a good time turned into like it is what it is.
Kind of like starts from bullying, right? Kind of like, hey, you can't be doing that or this or that. And it's kind of like, bro, I'm not going to stop what I love to do for you. So now it's kind of like a standing up for yourself type thing with your friends.
You know what though? A lot of people did stop. Like a lot of people, like we had some that the shit started going in that direction. Like some stopped like being from BSK, some went another direction. Like I said, I was one of the younger ones, so like the older dudes were already having to go to county jail and shit like that. So it started turning into different decisions that they had to make, Like they were done with school already, got to work,
Okay.
So like for me, I was still young, so it was like I wasn't going through none of that, Like they're telling us like the different things going on in the county, like, hey, fool, like they ain't fucking with taggers in there. Like, you better be cool, And I'm
Yeah.
like, shit, I still got like 3 or 4 years to get to the county. I'm good,
I'll thug it out in the juvenile hall system.
Well, because in juvenile hall, everybody was fighting anyway.
Yeah.
And you were running into all the taggers in there. So it's like, I mean, there was a lot of gangs, but in juvenile hall, it's like mostly like one-on-ones, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad, you started learning how to fight for real in there,
That's what I learned a lot of stuff, bro. When I ended up in there, I'm like, damn, bro, I'm here for graffiti. I used to over here like, what you get caught for? Oh, I was packing a strap, or I did this, or I did that, and I'm just like, damn, bro, I'm over here with some serious dudes over graffiti. So it was kind of like a learning experience for me.
Like a wake up for you, like
Yeah.
a wake up call, like hey,
then,
yeah,
it could get serious if you keep messing around. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I wanted to take a quick step back, brother.
Uh-huh.
So entering, the early times of you entering graffiti, right?
yeah.
How did you go about a name? Like a name was given to you? Were you kind of like, oh, I'm gonna call myself this? Or how did you go about getting your first name?
I seen like with the first name, right? It was crazy because like you will see all kind of different names on the wall,
Yeah.
and at first we didn't really like kind of understand it, so we're like, all right, like, do we like get somebody else's name that that is like in Hollywood,
Yeah.
like, you know, because you see like the gangs, it would be like
Travieso.
Malo,
yeah.
Travieso, Droopy,
Yeah.
like, you know, however. But then
Silent
it'd be
and
like little Droopy, little, and like with tagging, you really didn't see that. It was
Yeah.
just, this is your name, and that's kind of it type shit, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Like you wouldn't see no like little whoever on tagging.
Yeah, you wouldn't see like a little RONEK, junior RONEK, and
Yeah,
then baby
you know,
RONEK.
you wouldn't see it because you know, at least I really didn't at that time. So everybody was trying to like come up with a name that nobody has because you wanted to make that name famous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it was crazy for me. I don't even remember like where I got my name from because I know like we were looking at like the detergent boxes and like everything, just trying to like figure something out.
Should I call myself Thai, Suaveloso,
You know?
Pinto?
But we're like in the ingredients, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
in the crazy. So I was just, I don't know actually where I even came up with my name at, but yeah, they called me Zont, Z-O-N-T.
Zant. Okay.
Yeah, so like I was Zont, but a lot of people were like, "Where the fuck you get that at?"
Yeah.
Like,
Where did that come
you
from?
know, like
Yeah.
what the fuck is that?
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, "Shit!" And then it's a Z. Like there wasn't a lot of people with a Z,
Yeah.
so it made it like, what the fuck? And like Z ain't an easy letter to like write nonstop on the wall either.
Yeah, that was a difficult one.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it was but it was a name that stood out. You know what
Okay.
I mean? So I went from that to like well, all my homies kind of like hating the name,
Yeah.
but like some of my homies' moms and family
Yeah.
like thinking that was my real name because everybody was calling me that. So they'd call me that too, you know? But as you get caught writing on the wall more and more, now they want to go back and charge you for all the damage and stuff like that, you know? Like back in our day, like a lot of the taggers had like the ducktails. They had I had a long ducktail back in the day, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But well, I changed my name, so I've had two names like
Okay.
tagging. One was Zont, Z-O-N-T, and OK, O-K-A-E or O-H-K-A-E.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But because now I was like, well, OK is always gonna mean the same thing if you just put an O and a K or if you spell it out, you know?
It's like having a name with an F. You can use the PH.
Yeah, for sure. My homie Fear used
Yeah.
to do that. He used to hit it with a PH, you know?
I also wanted to get into, brother. So you know, you come up with your name Zant.
Yeah.
And was being part of a graffiti crew always the plan? Like being from BSK was always the plan, or that just kind of happened because you grew up with the guys?
Actually, like we had made up like our own shit. So I don't know if it like how it came from because like my first like tagging crew, like I was really like riding all over the wall.
Yeah.
It was AOA, all out artists. How AOB, the all out bombing.
Yeah.
So that's how it kind of started. But like everybody were like, oh, like you fools are copying these fools, and most of the homies didn't know how to write. Like we just wanted to write because that's what everybody else was doing.
Oh, okay.
You know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying? So now we're seeing like BSK, we're seeing like TAC, we're seeing KNS, RIA, we're seeing all these crews in Highland Park, and we're just like wanting to, you know, do our thing too. Like, hey, us too, you know? And like it wasn't really happening like that, bro. Like they were like you fools are toys. Like what the fuck is this, you know? And we'd go right, we'd do our shit, but it wasn't like we weren't getting that like respect, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then like once people started like like noticing us, like I was already barely going to like junior high now. You know what I'm saying? So I seen the big tagging crews over there. So I was like, shit, I'm gonna try to get into like BSK, you know?
Also, BSK was already an established crew.
Yeah, it was already established.
Okay,
They've been like doing their thing, and it was known in like the Highland Park and like Eagle Rock area.
Okay.
You know, like we had people like riding other places, but that was like home base. Like that's where we were known for being at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and they were up everywhere in the hood, you know? So it was like, I'm going to try to be from there. So I remember like one day I was ditching school and I went with the homies, you know, and I ended up getting into BSK and none of my homies that I kicked it with were able to get in.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like,
You
like
forgot about us, fool.
crazy.
You forgot about us. You're BSK now.
Yeah, for real. It was like a crazy kind of transition, you know? Like it took a while. A couple of my homies ended up getting in, but it took a minute. But like in the beginning they were like, nah, not them. Like, yeah, you. Cause I mean I got in at a time you had to know how to write.
So it was based on skill.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
based on skill. So they're like, well, let me see you write. And I was like, what? Like, you know, get a little painter out and hit up on like a beer
Box.
12-pack
Oh,
box,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, you. And then like I already knew the homie couldn't write.
Yeah.
And they were like, nah, well, these fools can't get in, you know? So I was like, you guys just got to keep practicing.
Here's a sad style practicing.
But nah, it didn't really work out. There was maybe two of my homies that I grew up with before that time that actually got into BSK with me.
Okay.
And then once it got like towards the tag banging and that kind of shit,
Yeah.
then it was like, all right, like fools getting jumped into BSK. Like you didn't have to know how to write no more. Like just don't write on the wall. You come with us. You know what I mean? And we got you, you know? So it was a different time for sure.
I think that's the beauty of it, Toro, because, you know, you start with your friends. You guys don't know how to write. You guys are kind of trying to learn. You know, you guys are trying to develop. Start your own crew, but it's kind of like now we got to get respect, bro. Like, what we doing? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
we
for
got to
sure.
get it. We got to stand out. And that's the beauty of it, bro, because everybody starts like that. Even the greats.
Yeah.
The greats out there started not knowing how to even hit up a tag right?
Yeah.
So it's like the beauty of having to develop, earn it, and then once you get to a position where you kind of tell yourself like, damn, I did it. It makes you, you know, love it more. Because if it was just given to you, like, hey, bro, look, here's a book
Yeah.
with your name, 10 different styles, practice, come back to me in a month. It's not the same as actually being out there, risking it, you know what I mean? And get into it like, oh, I got it now, you know?
For sure.
What did BSK stand for?
Backstreet Kings.
Backstreet
Yeah.
Kings. Okay.
Yeah.
And, you know, entering this culture at the era that you did, brother, what was kind of like utensils to go for? Like, were you like with a Krylon? Or
Yeah,
like,
it was Krylons for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Krylons, like the uni painters.
yeah,
The arrowhead, the scriber, the mean streaks.
yeah.
Like we were cutting the mean streaks into 4 and like having like the rainbow main streaks. We'd go like racking all of that shit too. So, you know, back in the day they didn't have it like they have it now.
All
Like
locked up.
everything's locked up,
Yeah.
you know? Like you can actually go into a supply store and just take everything and be straight, you know?
Because you come from a time, bro, where you guys didn't have graffiti shops like now, right? Like where you could just Google a graffiti shop and it's right around the corner.
I think the main one that they started having was the one on Melrose back in the day by Fairfax.
Was it Worksman?
I think it was Worksman.
Yeah.
But they had one store over there like you can go buy like fat tips
Okay.
and like stuff like that I remember, you know. But that's back when they had like the Belmont Tunnel. They
Yeah.
had, you know, the Levitt's Yard. They had a bunch of different.
Also, you took part in all those yards.
Yeah,
so
I took part in all of that.
So Can we get a little bit into that? Like, so your BSK, so
Yeah.
entries these yards, is this before BSK or
Nah, be it with
okay.
BSK.
So
Yeah.
you were out there representing BSK.
Yeah, for sure.
How was that for you?
It was cool. Like, cause like I said, we started off just like being out there tagging, like wanting
Yeah.
to write on the wall. And we used to go mob it up like all the time, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And like in the hood, my house was like a spot. Like all my homies used to be there with me. So like, there was with the fake bus passes back in the day.
Yeah.
So everybody would have a fake bus pass, and you just catch the bus everywhere, and just get off and mob it up.
How would you go about getting that pass though? A fake one, just make it yourself?
Man, I don't actually like. They were out for sure. They were out because everybody was. They had it. We had them for sure.
Yeah.
It was crazy, but yeah, everybody was making the fake bus passes and
On the RTD line.
for the RTDs. Yeah, so that's how we were getting everywhere. And even when we didn't have it, we'd just catch the grill
Yeah.
and ride that shit to wherever it goes.
The Belmont Tunnel, in my opinion, is a staple for Los Angeles graffiti culture because so many people took part in that, right? And that's way before my time.
Yeah.
Can you express a little bit about just the vibe of walking in there, right? And seeing everybody painting. And then they were playing I believe it was a Mayan game there.
Yeah.
As a BSK member, how was it coming in there? Was it like, hey, how's it going, bro? Nice to meet you type thing, and you meet around? Or was it kind of like, I'm BSK, I got to represent, and people are kind of looking at you a little off?
Well, for us, like, we just, like, usually catch the bus over there, or some of the homies had cars. So, like, we'd pull up, and everybody would kind of be doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And you'll just watch to see what they're going to write. Because for real, like, we were already beefing with, like, big crews. So it was still like, oh, you walk over there, you don't know what's up with these people. Because in the midst of all the, like, the tagging, it was already going towards, like, tag banging.
Yeah.
So, like, everybody, like, shit, how about this fool got a screwdriver or a knife or even, something else, But, like, I remember when the dude Hex that did your mural in the back, when he was there doing his battling.
Oh, you were at the battle with him and Slick?
Yeah, went over there, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Because it was known. That shit was packed. There was
like
a lot of
house?
people there.
Oh, wow.
So it was crazy because my cousin lived right there in Echo Park.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's like, hey, fool, like, they're doing this right here, like, come through, So we're like, all right, let's go check it out, So it was, and for me at the time, like, that was like, oh, shit, because he was, like, drawing, like, he had a lot of, for us at the time, it was just more like mobbing, like getting up, doing quick burners on the freeways. And we used to go, I used to go with my homie on Poise in it for a while. Everybody knows Poise and Panic. Panic had all the Panic UTI, they had the freeways mobbed up. Panic Poise, everywhere with the what is that ultra flat black and the chrome. Like, that shit stood out everywhere. They were mobbing it up, But like, I know a lot of, like, the taggers too, like, that are known from back in the days. Met them at different places. And I've, like, sold bud and shit, so, like, people would come and trade me like tips and cans and all that for bud,
I got some Krylon cans. You got some herb for me?
For real, no lie.
Is there a specific writer that you would say that kind of influenced your style?
I mean, like, with the Z, I kind of, like, I seen the way, like, Sleaze, how he'd get that little Z in there in the end. So I look at, like, little different styles and just try to pick little things up. But I I think it was just more the homies like that I was like growing up with, you know,
Okay.
like everybody like, you know, we'd sit there like doing acid and just chilling and just practice all day. Like that's all we do is practice like on paper, have notepads or you know the peachy folders just fold up, mopped up, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it was just for me. I always wanted to be able like to write. Like even now, if you see my writing,
Yeah.
you'll know that like I got different styles, you know. Then and I think it's because it came from the tagging era to where we cared about the way it looked on the wall.
Gotcha.
You know, like you've always seen like Burlington, like Rockwood, like different hoods that like oh shit, you know, like they got style. Like when you see them riding, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like they do their thing. Like they care about how their hood looks on the wall, you know?
They're big old placazos, like it has that little curve.
Yeah, with the extras flared up
Yeah,
in
yeah.
it still,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like you can tell like, oh yeah, these fools were riders before, you know?
You know, in the early stages of graffiti, hip hop was a big impact to the culture, right? As far as like b-boying, MCing, DJing, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Was that style of hip hop ever a big influence for you?
I would say yeah, because like I came up with the break dancing stuff. Like
Yeah.
I never really got too into it,
Yeah,
but
it was there.
it was there. Like, you know, like the homies were doing it and you know, from that to skating to, you know, skateboards to
Oh, you skated too?
yeah, skating. I've done everything, bro. You know? So from the skating to like, you know, the whole thing, I've done like pretty much a lot of it, bro. Like I was like a product of my environment, bro. Like just growing up there, you know?
What were some of your favorite MCs, if you remember back then, that you were bumping?
Back then, I don't. It was just different stuff. Like I always like with the NWA,
Yeah.
the like Too Short,
Okay.
like all that kind of stuff. You
So
know,
more like the gangster rap type stuff?
yeah, the
Okay.
gangster rap.
Okay.
Like I was, even when I was with the like the Tagger style,
Yeah.
I was still like, I think at the time there was like British Knights and the what is it, the Lottos or
Okay.
like just the different. They had started coming out with like the little Tagger shirts, but I kind of got like into the Cortez real quick and like
So you were more influenced by the West Coast style,
yeah, for sure,
rather
100%.
rather than the East Coast, like the b-boy, like the starter jackets and the, you know, the Adidas and the Pumas with the fat shoelaces and stuff.
I
You're more
don't-
like West
yeah.
Coast Cortez type thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had the bomber jacket
Yeah.
because Backstreet Kings, so we always had the Kings jacket,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
and stuff like that. But yeah, I leaned more towards the West Coast style, you know, like I knew like the different guys out there in the East Coast,
Yeah.
or we'll watch like where they're mobbing up the trains and shit like that over there, like the subways.
Yeah.
Like I liked it, like it was cool, but like I never like got into that, you know, like that style.
So
Like-
did you get a chance to watch movies like B Street, Wild
Yeah,
Style?
all that.
Okay.
I watched all of that.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
You know that those movies are very impactful as well, and even the book that they put out, the Subway art book, a lot of guys use that to kind of like, you know, just learn a little bit about what's going on outside of what's happening in LA, right?
Yeah.
So those two were very impactful. You know, when Fox 11 News, bro, when Fox 11 News did that segment on tag banging, right,
Yeah.
where they made it seem like every guy with a spray can got a gun,
Yes.
or they're going at it with each other. Then they do the little clip with, I think one of them's getting shot at, right? How impactful for that was that at the moment, because you were there for that time, right?
It was crazy because like I've been to juvenile hall 17 times, right?
Oh wow.
Yeah, so Fox 11 would come through your hood, you'd go show them all your spots, and then the next day you'd get raided, and they'd all be in jail.
Oh wow.
So like I was always in jail with all the dudes who were just on the little Fox 11 stuff.
Oh, so you knew him personally?
Yeah, so you start meeting like a lot of these dudes, and they'll tell you like, hey, if they ask, because they asked us like to come do like the segment in the hood, like the BSKs, and
Yeah.
it was like nah, hell nah, like we ain't gonna do it, because most people would go show them like, oh look, we're smoking bud here, look, we got this here, look what we got, take them to their spots. The next day they will turn you in.
Oh wow.
So like I don't know, we just shied away from that. Like we never volunteered for none of that shit.
How would they go about reaching out? Like, how are they getting a hold of you guys? Do they send somebody down there?
I don't know. It's just always like back in them days, it was for us. Like we'd all like kick it at different houses, and my house was one of them. My homie Rudy Boy had another pad like that we kicked it at. But like somebody would just come and be like, hey, what do you guys think about this? And we're like, what? Like, hell nah. Because
we ain't doing that.
Yeah, because we started understanding what was actually happening. They will get you and you're going to go to jail. So it was like, nah, we're cool with that.
Do you think that played a big part in what happened with graffiti writers and the gangs, where it was kind of like they put out this call where like, hey, these guys are painting, it's a no-go. You think that Fox 11 segment had a lot to do with it?
I mean, it might have had some, but I think for real that at the time a lot of the gangs didn't understand the taggers.
Yeah.
And they just looked at them as like, get the fuck out of here type shit.
Yeah.
Or be from the hood. So it just because mainly you see a lot of the taggers, they'll take up the whole wall. Like for me, I started out as a tagger, so every time I've seen like taggers in the hood, like I'd be cool because I know what it is. I'd
Yeah.
just be like, hey man, look, if you guys are gonna write, like don't write gangster style and save me some room. Don't mob this whole shit up.
Leave me a little piece of me.
Yeah, keep a piece for me and
Yeah.
shit. This the hood, and they'll be like, all right. But little by little, like we've got like, I don't know, maybe like 5, 6, 7 different whole tagging crews in the hood. So for us, like we don't really like hate on the taggers like that,
Okay.
because it's a valuable thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's a, if you can ally and I guess get them to come your way, like it's profitable for you, for your hood, So
And
you know,
as writers, it's like we all do the same thing, right? So it's like, why put yourself in that position where like, well, not why, but there's no need for it, right? Like if you guys are both writing and you could come to a conclusion, it's like, so be it, right? I know you mentioned that you guys had like beef with these crews, right?
yeah.
But did you guys ever have like a graffiti battle, like battle against another crew to like, oh, we get down more type thing, or no?
Yeah, I think we had a few. I know, like right around the time like I was getting in. I know the homies had something going on with like the SH dudes,
Okay.
like Seeking Heaven. Like
Yeah.
yeah, them dudes. They had like a little battle type shit, but
Okay.
um, it was more just mobbing and like doing our
Yeah.
thing. Like it got to where like just topping people, then crossing them out, and then just doing your thing, but not no like that I remember. Like I'm sure there was like. Sometimes I'll talk to Playboy Eddie and he'll be like, "Fool, you don't remember this?" And I'm like, nah. Like
Yeah.
But yeah, salute to Playboy Eddie, man,
Shout out
the
Playboy
homie and shit.
Eddie.
But yeah, there I don't know. For me, those are a lot of my like best memories. Like being a tagger, like kind of like carefree and just chilling, everybody just on some cool shit,
Yeah, and like it's an interesting thing, right? Because like it's like you like doing this, and you got your set friends, right?
Yeah,
And like I remember, like for me, bro, I thought that me and my friends were gonna ride forever, bro.
yeah, for sure.
And I'm the last one standing right now.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And it's like now that I'm older, I trip out because like as a kid, you think it's gonna last forever,
yeah,
but people change, bro. Some people change for the better, and some people change for the wrong, or other guys just don't want nothing to do with it. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Um, and it's a very interesting factor. I also wanted to talk to you, brother. I know you mentioned to me that buzz mobbing was very heavy for you.
yeah, for sure.
How was the early stages of buzz mobbing for you?
It was pretty cool. I guess you would see like for us, like in junior high, we'd leave like Burbank right there, like on Figueroa. So we just everybody would get on the bus at the same time and just like mob it up.
Yeah,
And then the bus goes everywhere. So everybody wanted to ride on the bus because like, it'll be out here in the bus that goes from the hood. So like it was a good look because especially like once you start doing crazier stuff, like get the cannon right across the whole front window.
Oh,
Like bam, like fill it up.
what lines were going through your neighborhood?
We had like the 83, the 81. Um those are like the two main ones, like in the hood.
Yeah.
The 83 and the 81. So it'll take us like to downtown and stuff like that.
Did you get a chance to meet other riders in there,
On the buses?
like other riders from other
Yeah.
places of town?
For sure, for
And was it
sure.
always cool? Or was it kind of like, oh, screw you guys, we don't want nothing to do with you guys type thing?
Nah, most of the time it was cool, especially like people from far. You know what I mean? Because like I was telling you at the time, like the homie Poise, him and Panic were killing the freeways at the
Yeah.
time. So like it was like well known, like okay, like BSK was established. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It wasn't like who the fuck are these guys? You
Oh, so
know
they were BSK too.
who?
Pan-
Poise is from BSK, and Panic was from UTI.
Okay, okay, okay.
But like we were cool with them. Like I was the youngest, so I'd go with them. Man, we went one time, bro. One time in one day, we got caught riding 3 different times.
Oh wow.
Like caught, like it was just like what the fuck. It was like a bad night.
And then we're letting you guys go.
Well, we started off, let's say, I think in Santa Monica or something. Like we went, like you could see like the freeway or whatever
Yeah.
from the back. So we went to get a couple spots there. We got caught up, like barely getting out the car, mobbing on the poles. We're riding, and it was crazy because they knew Poise
Yeah.
with my homie Muppet, which was Trace. Trace and Poise used to go mobbing everywhere. So they see him and they already knew because Poise, white dude.
Yeah.
So it's me, Panic, and Poise. We're walking and Poise dropped a spray can like in front of the cops and they came back like, what the fuck? And we got lucky because they were like, hey, what color's the can? And we were only riding with like ultra flat black and the chrome, the bumper chrome,
Yeah.
to make them pop. And Panic tells them it's rose red. So he's like, get in the car. They got us in the car and they started taking us. They go, if we see any fucking red riding right here, they go, where's Herman? And that's Trace because they're telling Poise, right? And I guess they got caught riding before. I don't know. And they got a call. So they told us, hey, get the fuck out of the car. Today's your lucky day.
And I just threw you guys out.
So they just threw us out.
Oh wow.
So we were like, fuck it. So we went to another spot. We jumped over it was like industrial, everything was mobbed up on the side too. You could see it from the freeway. So we jump over and I don't know where Poise went off to the side and the fucking dog and they pulled up on us like the security shit
What, a dog?
with the dog and everything.
Oh,
Like, hey,
wow.
like we try to like lay out. Like, hell nah, they came, they got us, and they're like, hey, we're gonna let the dog go on you guys right now, or fucking get the fuck out of here, you know? So it's like, damn. So, booked it, jumped the fence. Poise came back, his whole fucking face was full of paint. I'm like, what happened? He's like,
Yeah.
I hit the top off and it exploded and hit
Oh.
him. So it was like, what the fuck? But from there we're like, man, let's go do something else. And we got caught again. So it was like, man, you know what? Fuck that. Let's just go. Like, it's a bad night. Like,
Yeah.
it was no love that night.
Man, that's a tough one.
For real. Like, I never really had it bad like that. Like, I used to go riding with a lot of different people. But had a lot of friends like with the tagging experience. And like I said, for me, that's a lot of my good friends still now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, people that I'm still cool with. So it's cool.
That's something that's beautiful about the graffiti culture, right? Because it just brings people from everywhere and anywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like I tell my friends all the time. You don't really get judged on what you look like, right? You get judged on, like, can this guy really write?
Yeah.
Can he really throw up them letters? Like, we don't care if you're yellow, purple, pink. I just want to know if you know how to paint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the beautiful thing of it. And if you don't know, keep practicing, right?
Yeah.
And then you could get mentored by somebody and just keep growing. You know, in Highland Park, brother, what are some of the guys that you would consider pioneers out of just Highland Park? Like, guys that really took it to the highest level when it came to graffiti.
I mean, I seen you interview Baba before,
Yeah,
you
Baba.
know?
Shout out Baba.
Yeah, salute Baba, his brother Odie, you know? I mean, they got the shop still in the hood,
Yeah.
tattoo shop, respects to them. Like, they were known in the hood. Just from like that, like my homie Poise, I think he did his thing, like recognizable for sure. But I mean, there's a lot of people like in the game that took it to that other level.
Yeah.
Like I met like Euler back in the days when he was Fleas. He used to
Okay.
write Fleas before. Like you see Herman, 125
Yeah.
do his thing. He grew up in Highland Park.
Oh, he's from Highland Park.
Yeah, he
Oh,
grew
okay,
up there. Yeah, he grew up a couple blocks away from me.
Did you ever have a situation where you kind of like ran into a writer that you kind of like, damn, I've been seeing this guy for a minute, and you meet him and he's like just an asshole? Like, hey man, watch out.
I think I met not really no assholes, but I met like a bunch of different people like that were always up back in like I met Whisk before, I met Size. I met a lot of dudes for real. Met Sleeves before.
Just being out there,
Just being out there,
day by day.
Yeah, pulling up at different spots,
You know, bro, not to get too deep into this aspect of this question and this conversation, but leaving the culture behind, right, to now entering the gang culture, right?
Yeah.
How was that emotion for you, bro? Because you go from devoting yourself day and night to spray painting, interacting with writers, till now it's like, I'm not worried about that no more. I'm over here. Did that ever become an emotional situation where it was kind of like, it's kind of like, how can you say it, bro? It's like just leaving something behind and starting over again, like building a new.
For us, I guess, or for me, we didn't really leave it behind. Like you see, I still got the crown.
Yeah.
Got the crown right here.
Yeah.
My clique from Highland Park
Yeah.
is Backstreet Kings. So, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we all just like the majority of us ended up getting into Highland Park, like all around the like around that like peace treaty time, like when everybody with the gang stuff. But most of us got into Highland Park. We had a few other homies they got into Avenues, and
Also, some crew members went this way and the other crew members went that way.
yeah. Well, the majority of us went to Highland Park.
But some went the
Yeah,
other
but
way.
some went the other way, and then some just did their own thing, or
Was that heartbreaking in a sense, bro? Because like having a road dog, right? And now it's
yeah.
like now we can't talk. Is that ever like something you ever sit back and think about, or even at the moment where like, damn, I thought you were my friend.
Well, to a point, it just varies on the person,
Okay,
really.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? Because there's some that like are like I'm still cool with now, and
yeah,
but there's some that are like, yeah,
yeah,
like there's no way
yeah.
like we can be cool, you
Yeah.
know.
Even though we spend time as kids, that time's over.
Well, I've had it to where like the homies like, cause some of the other homies might still be cool with them.
Yeah,
It just like didn't work out with me, so
yeah,
like they'd run into him like, hey, like Droopy used to spend the night at my house and now he's shooting at me type shit, you know? So it
yeah.
just, but that was just, back in the day and growing up like that. And when you're out there and you're dealing with different people and it turns into gangs and like you're not trying to see like, oh, who is that, or oh, it's only you, and or oh, I only want to get that your homeboy but not you. it,
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
it
yeah.
just it makes it kind of fucked up situation, especially like with people you grew up with, you know what I mean? And I mean, I think anything can happen at any time to anybody, so it's not like, oh, I'm the big like badass or nothing like that. But it just, it's I think it's a person by person on how it is, and
Gotcha.
yeah, how cool you can be with them,
Yeah, because for me, from the outside looking in, I can only imagine what it feels like going from an all city mentality to now I'm just right here in the hood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like now I'm worried about other aspects that come with it
Yes.
than worried about what I was doing over there.
Yeah.
So it becomes a situation where it's like it's an experience, right? It's an
Yeah.
experience because
For sure.
it leads to opening many other doors that
Yeah.
before were not doors that you would usually walk into. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now it's kind of like that transition. It could be something different.
Sometimes it closes doors too, though.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not just like a red carpet rolled out.
Or that trumpet, pum pum pum.
Yeah, because now you can't go over here, you can't go over there peacefully. I mean,
Yeah,
you can go, of course, but you got different worries now. Like so, but it was still like being with your homies type shit, and we were still like riding, but it was just like something else now.
yeah,
Little extras now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Um, you coming from the time of the era where you entered the culture of graffiti
yeah.
to 2024, right? How do you feel about the current state of graffiti today in 2024? Do you feel like it's still alive and thriving, or do you feel like it's going down as far as like the culture in general?
Nah, I think it's still doing pretty good from what I see, Like cuz I pay attention to it, of course.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I see the homies from STP killing the freeway still, doing their thing.
Shout out STP.
Yeah, salute STP. My boy Pharaoh,
Shout out Pharaoh.
yeah, for sure. But I think everything is what you make it, bro.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like if you wanna like concentrate and still do your thing, it's gonna be alive and well for you. But for some, I think it just how depends on who you are and how you carry yourself.
Gotcha.
You know?
You think we'll still have graffiti 200 years from today? You think people will still be getting up? Maybe with a robot, but still doing it?
Mm, I think it's always gonna be some kind of
Yeah,
writing, bro.
yeah,
I mean, look, I just got shit in my pocket right
yeah, yeah.
now, so I think that it's hard to stop, and a lot of us grew up on that, and even like just being from a hood or like, I mean, look dudes older than me that are still out there writing on the wall, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
doing
still
their thing.
they're still out there holding it down and
Yeah,
keeping the culture alive.
for sure.
I'm just happy to be able to put a voice to it, because I feel like this specific culture um, was voiceless in a sense because people are just quick to judge and stereotype, but
Yeah.
don't really understand what's going on. Like it's more to just picking up a can and spraying it. You know what I mean? Like
No, 100%.
there's a lot more to that than people assume, especially the general population or outsiders or spectators that would be like, "Oh, there goes that damn tag," or da 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 da, but
Yeah.
not understanding like for me, bro, when I see somebody write a letter, I could feel the emotion through the way they paint it, right?
Yeah.
So like if I see a sick ass placazo, I'm like, oh, this was full in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's full in, you know what I mean? If I see a multicolored burner, I'm like, okay, this guy, he's really like technical and taking the time. So that's what I try to tell people. Like you just gotta really learn. You know what I mean? It's with anything in general, right?
Yeah.
It's good to know, just because it's out there. You can't come to LA and not see graffiti. It's impossible.
Impossible. You
I-
know, what's crazy for me with some of the writing is you're able to see people like advance
Yeah.
like in front of your face, like from let's say 6 months you've been seeing this guy write, and most people when they do like certain burners on the freeway or whatever, they keep a style, but then as you see it, you see them like elevate, adding different stuff and like figuring out
Yeah.
their style, you know what I mean?
Doing a little flare here,
Yeah.
adding a color here, blending this with this, or boom, this guy dropped the cartoon character, and you're over here like, oh,
Yeah.
I want,
You see, excuse me,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see the dudes on the freeway, how they've been doing all the like the verses from the songs and shit
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I think that's tight too.
I seen that, and I seen like they did the Dodger stuff.
Yeah.
But you know which one's the innovation that I see today that gets me like, damn, this is next level. The people that are hanging from the buildings with a little rope.
Oh, that shit's crazy, bro.
I seen a chick doing it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's next level. Like, what's next?
Do you think you'd be able to do something like that yourself?
I mean, I would definitely give it a try, but I think I'm too heavy for that rope.
I think for me, like I'm like fearful of heights.
Yeah.
Even though I'll still try to like get some of it done. But I think that's all the way next level. Didn't the other dude on the in downtown lose his life? He fell off, or did he survive?
Oh, you're
On
talking
the
about
Dodger stuff.
Yeah, you're talking
Yeah.
about that kid that he was hitting up and he
Yeah,
just fell.
He
Pah.
fell.
I don't think he lost his life, but I
Oh,
think he got
okay.
seriously injured.
Yeah, that looked bad, bro.
Yeah, I was like, poor guy, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, I hope he's doing good out there.
Prayers to his family, man.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of stuff going on with the Dodger parade, man. Even that kid that blew his hand out.
I seen that. That was crazy
I was
too,
like,
bro.
I was like, man, bro, I love fireworks, but man, man, wishing you guys the best.
Yeah, for sure.
Before we get on out of here, brother, I wanted to get into my last question for you. So, I know that you're currently a host at a podcast,
Yeah, 200 boys.
200 Boys,
Yeah.
also known as
Hater world.
Hater World.
Yeah.
How did the podcast realm start for you, and how is it going for you?
It started over at Hoodstocks. You know,
Okay.
my homie Lucky, he was doing his thing, and I got out, and cause I was in jail for a while, so I've been gone for a minute.
Yeah.
You know, I did 16 years prior to being home right now, you know. So when I got out, he invited me over, more just like spectator, just like in the background type
Yeah, yeah.
shit. And little by little it turned into like being in front of the camera. So I guess it's just I seen what it was, and I feel like I can do it. So
Okay, okay.
you know, yeah,
You felt comfortable being behind the mic and the camera.
I'm getting comfortable. I don't always feel comfortable.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think like once you start talking, like you could kind of forget about the camera, and then just get into a cool conversation. But just to be like, hey, 1, 2, 3, go! Like, it's like, you know, it's kind of gets me like takes a second, but I'm getting more used to it. Started my own channel, which is D Hood Star TV.
Make sure to follow him. I'm gonna drop
Yeah,
the link right here.
appreciate it. But I'm gonna be doing like skits and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's just trying to find my own little lane in this.
It's a
So
new. It's a new. For me, bro. Like I could say, for me, coming from a time where like all this TikTok and shit wasn't around, right?
yeah,
Like TikTok, YouTube, skits, and then all this. Like, that wasn't around when I was a kid, right?
yeah,
But now it's a thing.
yeah.
Yeah. So now it's like it's really become a thing. So I'm just like, damn, it's crazy, bro. Now that I hear you say it, like you're gonna do your skits and stuff. Like
Yeah.
back then, it wasn't really like that. Back then, it was like you're really outside type thing, and now it's like you got to be behind the camera. Like even with graffiti, right?
Yeah.
If you're a graffiti writer, you need a social media presence. If
Yeah,
you,
there's no way not to.
you have to have a social media presence. Not that you have to, but it's beneficial if you're trying to, establish a name and brand yourself. So I think that's something that, like, man, I think about it too. Like, damn,
But
social media is really a thing now.
do you feel it's kind of risky though for you? Let's say somebody that's actively like writing to have the social media presence to where like it can like come back and bite them later.
I think it is.
Yeah.
And I also think that now it's accepted though. Like now I feel like the world accepts graffiti as like, oh, I love that style of art. Right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And I also feel like certain individuals out there that are really doing their thing and going ham
Mm-hmm.
use social media to their advantage, right? Like, oh, I got canvases for sale now, and they
Yeah.
sell because now you build a persona,
Yeah.
and people are buying who you represent, right? So they're not buying the spray can because it's a spray can now. They're buying it
Yeah.
because it has your stuff on it.
Yeah.
Or they're not buying the canvas just because it has graffiti. They're buying it because it has your name drawn by yourself because you built the persona.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's 50-50. You know what I mean? So it just depends on the individual. Some guys, all they want to do is paint. They don't care about social media, so they're not doing it. There's other guys that do that for as a hobby. They just go out there and take pictures all day and post it.
I've seen that too.
But there's some guys that you can't even find on the internet because they're not about the internet life. So I feel like it balances out. It's 50-50. But hey, everybody has their own perspective on it. You know what I mean? But yeah, diving into your podcast journey. You started with this guy Hoodstocks.
Yeah.
That was your entry level.
Yeah.
You slowly gravitated to it, and now you're at Haters World.
Yeah.
How you feeling now about the podcast? And you feeling a little bit better? You feeling more energized about it?
Yeah, overall I think it's cool. It's just like finding your lane, talking about what we can talk about
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that we're not able to talk about on camera.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we can't really get into, and so sometimes people don't understand that. So they might be like, "Oh, you're not saying this cuz you don't know or because this." And it's just sometimes not saying it because you ain't supposed to say it.
It's like
You
it's like being a major league player, right?
Yeah.
He's not gonna be on the podcast. Yeah, today I took some steroids, and
Yeah.
tomorrow I gotta go pump some juice. So I can,
Yeah.
or I put BBs inside my bat. Like he's not gonna tell you that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I only eat meat. You know what I mean? Like just because the protein or whatever it is, right? So I feel like it's the same thing. Even with graffiti, right? There's certain things that you really can't say on camera just because it's like it's disrespectful, right? It's
Yeah.
disrespectful. It's rude. And there's certain things that stay in the culture that is just for the culture. Like you got to be part of this
To understand it.
to understand it, right?
Yeah.
It's like going into a hospital, right? Like I know he's a doctor, but I don't know how one vessel can enter the brain and from the brain it goes to your foot. Like that's not my realm. You know what I mean? So I understand what you're saying with that, and it's definitely something that people need to understand. Like not everything has to be said behind camera,
Yes.
because not outside of these cameras, there's real people out there.
We still got to live a real life after
Yeah.
this, and there's still real stuff going on. And sometimes some things get bigger than social media.
Yeah,
So sometimes it's better to leave it off the camera,
definitely.
Yeah.
No, brother, I just want to thank you for stopping by.
Yeah,
Give me a little bit
appreciate
of
you
your
for
time.
inviting me. Yeah.
Always, brother. And got a last question for you.
Okay.
I see you with the fly kicks on. So,
Yeah.
favorite shoe you like to rock when you're painting or when you used to paint? What's your favorite shoe?
Um, I mean, right now I wear like mostly Jordans,
You're gonna
bro.
catch me fly only right
Yeah. So
now.
that's what I stay mostly Jordaned up right now.
Yeah.
I got one of them. I don't even know what they're called, but yeah, mostly Jordans, bro.
Okay.
All Nike, Nike, no matter what. Yeah,
Shit.
yeah.
Before we get out of here, bro, what can you say to that individual that will watch this and be inspired by you and say, "I want to start painting graffiti today"?
Just stay in your lane, man. Just do your thing, but stay in your lane. You don't want to get caught up because while it's great to enjoy the graffiti, like, not everybody appreciates it the same as, let's say, me and you do.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just be aware of your surroundings and be careful out there.
You heard it from himself, the man himself, Droops. Highland Park's in the building. I want to thank everybody that keeps to support the Got No Control channel. It's been a strong year. We're going on 4 years now and more to come. Make sure to head over to gotnocontrol.com and check out our official merchandise. Grab yourself a tee, a hoodie. And if not, it's always free to like and subscribe. Show us some love. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Till next time, peace.